Our next story is about police stations that are being run by China. What's the big deal about that, you wonder? Well, these are no ordinary police stations that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about police stations run by China on Chinese soil. These are secret police stations that are run by China in other countries. Are you confused? How does that even work out? Well, don't be confused. This is China we are talking about after all. And as we have been telling you right here on Gravitas, China's murky web of surveillance runs far and wide. These secret police stations run by China, in fact, are spread out around the world. Just for a quick backgrounder here, have a look at this. An investigation by Safeguard Defenders blew the lid off China's overseas police stations. This 2022 investigation, published by the Spain-based advocacy group, reported that China had set up these so-called overseas service stations. What was the motive? What is the dragon trying to do now through these covert setups? Well, the investigation found that these stations illegally worked with the Chinese police to pressure fugitives, quote-unquote, to return to China. I'll get to that in just a bit. Let's first tell you what's happened over the last few hours. In the latest, US federal agents have arrested 2 men for allegedly operating a Chinese secret police station. Where, you ask? In the buzzing lanes of Manhattan in America. To be precise, in the Chinatown district of Manhattan. In fact, the prosecutors say this is part of a crackdown on Beijing's alleged targeting of dissidents. Who are these individuals who were arrested? Lu Jianwong and Chen Jinping. They face charges of conspiring to act as agents of China's government without informing US authorities and obstruction of justice. According to the prosecutors, Lu and Chen led a non-profit organization that lists its mission as providing a social gathering place for people from China's Fujian province. In fact, their New York operation occupied a full floor in a nondescript building in Chinatown near the Manhattan Bridge. Before it closed in the fall of 2022, the site was being used, at the very least, quote-unquote, for government services, like helping some Chinese citizens renew their driver's licenses. It was also used for more, quote-unquote, sinister activities. In fact, in 2022, Lu helped open the so-called police station. He was asked by China's government to locate an individual living in California who was considered a pro-democracy activist. In 2018, Lu had sought to persuade an individual considered a fugitive by China to return home. Prosecutors said Lu and Chen admitted to the FBI that they deleted their communications with a Chinese government official. And the FBI director has gone to the extent of telling a US Senate committee in November that he was very concerned about the presence of such stations in US cities. So what does China have to say about this? Well, no surprises. It says it's up to nothing wrong. The Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin has disputed US claims of a Chinese secret police station in New York. According to Wang, China maintains a policy of non-interference in other countries, and these alleged police stations do not exist. Let me repeat, according to him, China maintains a policy of non-interference in other countries. What a joke, right? A policy of non-interference and China don't quite sit well in the same sentence, do they? Well, the US is quite clear. It has been ramping up its probes, in fact, into what it calls transnational repression by US adversaries like China to intimidate political opponents living in America. The top federal prosecutor in Brooklyn has said that America cannot and will not tolerate the Chinese government's persecution of pro-democracy activists who have sought refuge in the country. And that's not all. Prosecutors on Monday unveiled charges against 34 Chinese officials for allegedly operating a troll farm and harassing dissidents online. This includes disrupting their meetings on US technology platforms. And the story does not even end here. Have a look at this report now. Chinese nationals engaged in online fraud arrested from Sri Lanka. According to this report, at least 39 Chinese nationals have been arrested. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's relations with other countries are going well. I'm talking about its ties with India. What's happening there? Have a look at this report. It says, and I'm quoting from it, the Reserve Bank of India and National Payment Corporation of India are in early talks with Thailand, Sri Lanka, and other countries to extend the reach of the Unified Payments Interface, that's UPI. Let me break it down for you. As you would be aware, UPI is a system that basically helps with having multiple bank accounts in a single mobile application. This puts together multiple banking features. It enables easier merchant payments, so on and so forth. And these talks with countries like Sri Lanka and Thailand for UPI enhancement is a major boost for India's UPI soft power. Remember earlier in February, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Singapore counterpart also made a significant move by putting in place cross-border linkages through the fast payment systems, UPI and Singapore's Pay Now. And things are moving forward vis-a-vis linking UPI with other countries' payment mechanisms as well. To put it simply, this will basically help users make payments faster and lower the cost fund transfer. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.